Hey, storytellers, listeners, readers, welcome to another episode of I'll Read That, the show where your stories get heard. Whether you're an unpublished author, a self published independent, or just someone with a story to tell, this is your space to shine. Each episode, I'll read your submitted story aloud, giving you a voice, a platform, and most importantly, a chance to grow and develop. You'll get feedback from fellow writers, readers, and other creatives to help sharpen your craft and take your storytelling to the next level. So, if you've been waiting for someone to read your story, then you found your place. Submit your story, get heard, and let's grow together. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got something worth sharing, you already know. We are in part 9 of Thassodar Jax, Galactic Ranger by David Jace. His information is available below in the description. Part 9, Chapter 8. We're going to be reading sections 24 and 25 today. Section 24. Species Log, Human Jax Earth, 2010-11. Despite being so close to exploring beyond their own planet, humans are still a very divided species. They divided themselves by region, by language, they have over 6,000 languages among them, by religion, philosophy, political boundaries, genetic traits, even athletic teams. I've seen riots of hundreds of spectators over a few points in a supposed game of entertainment. The division among humans seems never ending, and are often of a violent nature. Many of their wars are not over land acquisition or division of resources, but purely of an us versus them belief that makes little sense, since they are all the same simple species. I worry that their inability to coexist could be a barrier to their entry into the Galactic Council. Section 25. Dorsch was almost what he would consider comfortable, stretched out on a human-style couch in the office of their criminal lair. He chuckled to himself at the idea of a criminal lair. The phrase brought to mind darkly lit rooms on out-of-the-way space stations whose atmospheric modulators were out of alignment, creating clouds of low fog everywhere. That might be going a bit far as the description for the office at Black Hole Vending. The boss's desk was of a solid grown wood. It was a nice rich brown color. The two couches in the office, one on each wall, were comfortable, as such bipedal furniture goes. There was even a rug made out of the pelt of some terrain beast, though Dorsch couldn't begin to identify the species. He hadn't been to a zoo here. There was plenty of light, and he hadn't seen a wisp of fog since he'd arrived on this planet. Not that he'd done any sightseeing at all. He wouldn't have minded a little sightseeing. Movement near one of his tentacles caught his attention. Shold, perched on the other end of the couch, was playing with a wicked-looking blade that spun out from its concealing divided case. He was spinning it in and out of the case in one hand. He'd said it was a local weapon called a butterfly knife. Dorsch thought the butterfly must be a fearsome and dangerous creature. He slowly retracted his tentacles out of reach of the deadly little blade, though few things were truly out of reach of its deadly little owner. Other than sharing the couch, he kept his distance. He had to respect Schuld's mechanical design, though. Top-notch mind, best admired from afar. Will you stop that? Snapped Groat. The top of one of his legs rested on the corner of the desk, his forearms crossed over his chest. Apparently the dangerous little butterfly-inspired knife annoyed him. I'm bored, retorted Shold, but he spun the blade one last time to close it, and slipped it into the inner pocket of the dark jacket. It matched the slacks he was wearing. All in all, Dorsch thought a winning outfit. 7 stars from him for Shold's outfit of the day. He'd given a full 8 if he added a hat. Groat looked down at his watch, nearly 3 by local standard. It's almost time. As if on cue, the used old model projector sitting in the center of the desk switched on, emitting a flickering blue light that formed an amorphous blurred shape that changed size or jumped by a foot or two at random as it warmed up. The shape of the hologram was also twisted, and the colors of the figure were inverted. Groat stepped away from the desk, choosing to lean against the wall instead. The image settled a foot above the chair behind the desk, at 2 feet tall, horizontally distorted, and pink. If he hadn't known who was calling, he wouldn't have recognized him. Hey, boss, you look like a toy, Dorsch laughed, but the others didn't join him. Bipeds had no sense of humor. What are you talking about? Sputtered the image. The projector's broken. The projector's broken again, said Hermes. Can you hear me? They answered the image with a handful of positive responses. Then that's enough for now. You can fix the projector later, Dorsch, while you make up a new bad joke. Schultz snickered to himself. Dorsch was mildly offended. He had splendid jokes. What were you idiots thinking? The image blurred more and turned red. Perhaps the distortion wasn't a technical glitch after all. I told you to hit the camp outside the city, not a movie theater downtown. It's all over the news already. Boss, the humans were just all sitting in the dark, practically waiting to be taken in. It went so smooth, and got even more people than the camp would have. Schultz objected with his knife. More people and faster notice. They wouldn't have been noticed. They wouldn't have been noticed the camp. They wouldn't have been noticed the camp for at least a week, maybe longer. The projection jumped up toward the office ceiling. I gave you the target for a reason. Now we've already got heat, and we've only just gotten started. Sorry, boss. We'll stick to the plan. Grote apologized from his spot on the wall and threw Schultz a threatening glare. Make sure you do. The image jumped back down to the chair. How did our first processing go? Any problem with the containers? What was our rate? What was our total acquisition? We haven't started the processing yet. We were waiting for you. What? The projection exploded outward and flipped upside down. Don't wait for me. I have other business to attend to. If I have to do everything myself, why would I have brought you four here? The image shook back and forth at an erratic rate. All right, we're going to start this again from the top. The voice had turned cold and biting. Go take into camp your original target. No improvising. Every human alive, unconscious. When you get them back, start processing immediately. Both the camp and the others you already have. Call me when you get back. No, wait. One of you call me while the others are running processing. The image shut off before any of them could respond. Who does he think he is talking to us like that? Schultz flicked the butterfly knife back out. I'm the reason you aren't in jail. Now get going. Excuse me. Schultz missed the catch and the knife hit the floor. The others called out, Yes, sir, and the device on the desk clicked off. As broken as that projector is and you don't think to wait until it actually turns off to talk? Dorsch laughed. I thought you were the brains of the outfit, Schultz. Aren't you the mechanic of the outfit? Fix it. Dorsch shrugged. There was no reason to get rude about it. Grote took charge again. You heard the boss. Everyone in the truck. Dorsch, check the cooler before we go. He saluted Grote with one tentacle and hurried across the truck parking space to the cooler facility. He didn't want to have to crawl across Schultz to reach the back seat and listen to him whine about it again. Gauges on the outside were all within expected parameters. He peeked in the window at the sleeping bodies. Sweet dreams, humans. They'll be your last. Schultz was already in his seat when Dorsch reached the truck. He slithered up through the window and into the back of the vehicle driver's section. Grote was already seated and strapped in across from him. All right, so that's the end of 25. I like it. I love the tension going on here. A little bit, maybe. Again, I don't really like commenting on grammar and everything, but there was some sentences that didn't quite make sense as I was reading them. I don't know if you heard. I'm sure you caught me reading it twice. And then also the description of the office in the beginning, I feel like really wasn't necessary. But everything else is tracking pretty neat. I'm curious to see what's going to go on with this camp and why they changed plans all of a sudden. The question I have, though, and I know this is preemptive, and it might be easier to clarify earlier in the beginning, is if these characters, with the exception of Hermes, um, Hermes was this is the first time on Earth, assumingly. How would they know about the movie theater containing all those humans? It seems like there wasn't a lot of clarification, or maybe I missed it. But I mean, I've been reading this from the beginning, so I know I'm backtracking here, but it is what it is. So, that's just my critique. I really want to see and hear what you guys have to say. Um, you know, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have a story that's just waiting to be read, I want to read it. Send me your unpublished or self-published works to the email address in this description, and you might be featured in an upcoming episode of I'll Read That. Help me build a community where writers support writers, and everybody's story has an opportunity to be heard. Don't forget, doesn't cost you anything. Like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments below, your critique, your criticisms, your loves, your hates. because your feedback could really help another writer develop and grow. And remember, keep writing, and I'll read that.